Hi, welcome back to another exciting episode of Masters of Inventory podcast. I'm your host, Mandy, and joining me again is Stan Andrus, CEO of Simple RFID. Today, we're tackling one of the hottest topics in inventory management, RFID technology. Our episode is titled RFID Fact Versus Fiction, where we'll unravel the common misconceptions, lay down the facts, and clear up any confusion. So whether you're a business owner, a tech enthusiast, or just RFID curious, this episode is for you. Stan, can you give our listeners a quick breakdown of what RFID is and the different types?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mandy. So RFID stands for radio frequency identification, and it's really a technology that utilizes radio waves to capture and identify information from tags or labels that are attached to objects. So most people have heard the term RFID, right? It's now become pretty common, but there are some pretty important distinctions between the different types of RFID. So let me jump right in here. So there are three main categories of RFID types. There is what is called high frequency or HF, which is also NFC or near field communication. So you may have seen NFC on your credit card, or maybe you've heard the term. So NFC stands for near field communication, and it's really the perfect technology. It's optimized for short range communication for secure transactions. So like I'm saying, your tap to pay when you're making payments with your credit card or your Apple Pay or Google Pay. But it's also utilized for access control. So things like your hotel key card, that would be another common use. Mm-hmm. The next type is low frequency or LF. And low frequency operates at a really low frequency. So it's reliable. It's commonly used for applications like animal tracking. So when you go get your pet chipped, or like a car immobilizer or like a key fob, those are going to be common LF type of applications. The third type is UHF or ultra high frequency, and that's really what we specialize in, right? So we deal with ultra high frequency tags, and UHF is ideal for retail, for inventory management, anything you're tracking where you're tracking items in bulk, and that's going to be for like warehouses and supply chain applications, things like that. UHF can really cover a lot broader areas because you can scan from a distance of 15 feet or 20 feet even, and capture large volumes of information at once. So awesome.
So Stan, a lot of people get confused between the difference of active and passive RFID. So could you explain the difference?
Yeah. A lot of times people will call us and say, "Hey, I think I need an active system." So active RFID uses a battery inside the tag. So usually the tags are going to be quite a bit bigger, and they're going to use a battery kind of the size of like a watch battery or something like that. The nice thing about active tag is that you can scan from a distance of sometimes up to like 1,500 feet. So these types of active tags are ideal for industrial applications where you're maybe tracking some kind of container in a yard for large equipment, things like that. So obviously because of the batteries, though, they're much bigger and bulkier, and they're going to be a lot more expensive. Plus, of course, the battery does have a shelf life. Passive, on the other hand, has no battery whatsoever. So that's the stickers that we sell to these Shopify retailers. And so all of the power that is needed is drawn from the reader. So it pulls all of that electromagnetic energy and captures the information. So of course, because passive doesn't have a battery, the read range is going to be much shorter. Typically, you're going to be between like 3 and 40 feet in passive applications. Mm-hmm. So because they have no battery, also they're going to be much, much cheaper, and so perfect for retail. So just to give the listeners some context, RFID stickers can cost well under 10 cents now. We sell labels all the time for 8 cents and even less. So
yeah, most of our stickers have a read range of like 15 feet on average. Right. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about the common misconceptions about RFID. So the first question is, how long do RFID tags last? Well, let's see. Maybe I can answer a few and then you can answer a few. I'll take like 3. Okay, cool. So they actually can last up to 30 years. So they're not going to run out of their lifespan while you have them. So no worries on that. Okay, number 2. Can I reuse an RFID sticker? Technically, yes, but we don't recommend it because an RFID tag is usually assigned to a specific item. And sometimes you have like a lot number and cost and like other things that are attached to that. So even a born date. So if you reuse a sticker, you're going to lose all of that information. You might think that the new item you've given that sticker to.
Right.
You know,
confuse those.
Yeah. So that's not a good idea.
Also, what are you going to do? You're going to cut it off the product before they leave.
Yeah. That's like assuming you can peel the sticker off. Like, yeah. Okay. So number 3, can customers access information from RFID tags? If someone had an RFID reader, the only thing they'd see is a meaningless string of hex numbers. It wouldn't make any sense without the system it's tied to. And, you know, most people don't have a reader in their hand. So it's like...
Exactly. Not everyone's fully equipped with that. Yeah. And so another question is, can RFID stickers be edited? So can the tags be edited? Yes, they can if they're not locked. So tags can be locked. There's a couple different ways. You can have a temporary lock or a permanent lock. If they're temporarily locked, it can actually require a password. So they're pretty sophisticated. You can have a password that you can actually unlock to see the data. Another question is, can RFID be used for theft detection? This is a question that we get all the time. And yes, absolutely. In fact, traditional EAS solutions, EAS systems, which stand for electronic article surveillance, are really being kind of deprecated. They're kind of going away. And they're really being replaced with these UHF RFID systems where they can act as a dual purpose inventory management and theft detection component. So really cool.
Talk about how that works, like briefly, you know?
Sure.
So like, go ahead.
Yeah. So when you're going to be using, a lot of retailers have interest in using RFID tags for that purpose. So the key is that you're able to capture the EPC number, the tag's information at the register, so that you can identify the exact tag that is leaving the facility, the building, the premises. So obviously you have to tie your system in with the point of sale. You have to have that integration complete. So
essentially it deactivates the tag when they purchase the product, and then when they go through the exit, there's going to be some antennas set up. If the tag is not deactivated, it's going to set off some kind of alarm, or a light stack's going to go off.
Right.
If it has been deactivated because they purchased it, then they can exit the store just fine. So it works just like the ES, but like you don't have to have those clunky things, you know, attached to your clothing.
Right. Absolutely. A lot more discreet as well. So last question here is, can anything be tagged with RFID? Well, really almost anything. And really it's going to come down to how the item is tagged. So some things don't play very well with RFID. There are things like liquids and metals. So liquids tend to absorb the RF signal. So if you're trying to stick an RFID sticker right against a gallon of water, it's probably not going to read very well. Most of that RF signal is going to get absorbed by the liquid. On the other hand, if it's something that's metal and you try to apply an RFID sticker directly against it, it's going to detune that tag and prevent the tag from actually scanning or transmitting its information. So, yeah, in both cases, you do have to use specialized tags. So there are a lot of specialized tags that have been developed for these use cases. Things like flag tags. If you're using a sticker and you need to tag something with that's metal directly, you can use some kind of flag tag, or they call them shark fin tags sometimes, where the actual inlay, the portion that contains the microchip and antenna, it sits away from the surface. There's also tags like on metal tags that use a spacer, sometimes called a dielectric spacer, that basically just provides enough space between the inlay and that surface so that the tag signal isn't disrupted. So, yeah.
Yeah, we actually have some flag tags that are amazing. We've tested them on wine bottles.
Yeah, and we use them for some of our golf customers to tag the golf clubs.
Yeah, works like magic. Like really great performance with those.
Yep.
So let's bust some myths. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, number one, RFID labels can track people.
Right.
No.
No. Yeah. Like we mentioned, it's a passive technology. So if you're tracking somebody, you're not going to be doing a very good job if you're using UHF.
This would be like probably one of the most common fears that I would say a customer has. Like, I don't want to buy that because they could track me and they'll know where I live when I go home. It's like, no.
Yeah, they would have to be, within read distance, because it's passive. To even be able to interrogate the tag is the term it's used. To be able to even interrogate the tag and pull the information from it, you'd have to be within, 20
10 or 15 feet. And then you're in your car. You're not going to pick up a signal.
Right.
The metal's going to block it. And somebody's going to be following you home. Essentially, you've got a stalker on your hands. Okay. So number 2, RFID waves cause cancer.
Yeah. So there's no scientific evidence that RFID waves cause cancer. RFID really uses similar waves to like your stereo. So you're really not going to be impacted by these waves. So they're not high enough frequency. You're safe. Okay.
Myth number 3, RFID labels can be read from long distances.
Right. And we already kind of busted that. So obviously the longest read range of any RFID tag, of course, is going to be an active UHF RFID tag. And like we mentioned before, max distance on those is going to be something like 1,500 feet. So it's not going to be crazy distance, not like a GPS or something like that where it's, global positioning. So, yeah.
Okay, number 4, RFID labels are easily hacked.
Okay. Yeah, so as long as tags are locked, they cannot be changed, at least, if they're perma-locked. If they are locked, then accessing the data becomes impossible. And so all of the tags that are supplied to major department stores and, the protocol that's been issued by the standards organization requires that all of those tags be locked. So really there's no way for customers to go in and modify the tag information. They'd be better off scribbling over the barcode and making it so you couldn't scan the barcode.
Totally.
So they're not
and it's basically a printer setting that you just say lock all the tags that that are printing. So it's pretty easy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, myth number 5, RFID can steal personal or credit card information.
Yeah, no, that's also a myth. Obviously, the credit card companies have encrypted all the information that gets passed via the NFC protocol, and it's very, very secure. So no.
Safe again.
No, safe again.
Okay. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the common facts about RFID. So let's address a few more frequently asked questions. Number 1, can RFID tags be double counted?
Right. So RFID tags are uniquely serialized, right? So if they get scanned again, you're simply identifying a new date and time when that tag was last captured. So no, you're not going to add the tag twice because you're going to recognize that it's a unique serial number and that it's already been captured and that it's being recaptured. So nope, they cannot be double counted.
Amazing.
Yep.
Can RFID tags be, let's see, what happens? Sorry, same question. What happens if I scan my inventory multiple times?
Yeah, so the more times that you go and you perform audits, if you're a Shopify retailer and you want to go scan your store 10 times, the only thing it's going to do is it's going to update the last time that those tags were seen. So it's really great for Shopify retailers that are using RFID to frequently audit their inventory, frequently count their stock, because it's so easy and so fast. There's no downside, and it allows them to verify, the presence of all of those items in their inventory frequently. So
it's great. You can get on the portal and you can say, I want to see when the last time this item was seen, and it'll actually tell you a date and time. So
yep.
What memory banks do RFID labels have?
Yeah, so most RFID tags actually have 4 memory banks. There's the EPC memory bank, which is the electronic product code. There's the TID or tag identifier. And the tag identifier is actually a serial number that can't be changed. It's a memory bank that can't be modified. And then there is the user memory, and typically there's a reserved memory as well. Now, Honestly, most of the memory banks, the user memory and the reserve memory don't get touched. It's really the EPC memory bank that anybody writes to. So, yeah.
Okay. And what information is programmed into the EPC bank?
The EPC bank, at least for retailers, is the most common encoding format structure is what's called the SG10. So a lot of people have heard of the G10, which is the Global Trade Identification Number. All that the RFID memory bank, the EPC memory bank contains is that G10 in a serialized format. So each tag has a unique serial number that appends the end of the string, and it just makes each tag totally unique. So it's that G10 and it's serialized. So
amazing. Thank you, Stan, for all that information, clearing those things up.
Yeah.
Now we can sleep better tonight.
Thank you.
Knowing that Nike's not going to know where I live when I go home.
Right.
Well, that brings us to the end of our episode today. I hope we've helped clear any misconceptions and answer the most pressing questions about RFID technology.
Absolutely.
It's not some all-powerful, all-seeing technology. It's a tool designed to make inventory management more efficient.
Yeah.
And with a better understanding of how it works, there's nothing to fear. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Masters of Inventory. We'd love to hear your questions. Maybe we can bring it up into a future episode.
Absolutely.
Make sure you hit subscribe so you can hear the next episodes we have coming up. We're going to be talking about some very interesting things. And we're here to help. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Okay, take care.